We're DIY electroplating.
What is up, everyone, and welcome back to Getting It Done. Now today we're going to be turning nickels into pennies. Let's get it done. Alright, so what I mean by that is we're going to be taking a nickel and we're going to be electroplating it in copper using this technique. This is based off of the King of Random, so go check his video out. But we're going to be electroplating a nickel and a house key in copper, so let's do it. Alright, for this experiment, you're going to need a power adapter with an output volt of 5.9 volts and 400 milliamps, really close to that. I mean, it could be 375, 425. Just try and get it within a range of that. Mine is a Motorola power adapter. If you can find that, good for you. And you're going to need to split the wire. You want to cut off the end that comes with the cable, and then split the wires. These two wires were once one, so you split them down the middle. Attach some alligator clips, any type, to the ends of them, and then you can move on from your power adapter. You're also going to need some copper sulfate. I have Rootkill, a company called Zep. It's 99% copper sulfate, I believe. But you're going to need some of that. It's about $20 at a hardware store. You're going to need a jar to make your solution in. You're going to need a cup to measure water with. You're going to need some gloves because you don't want this to get on your skin. A random piece of copper, just as long as it's a piece of copper that it's going to work. Something like a chopstick or non-metal rod to stir your solution in. And you're going to need a scale and obviously some water. Now this can be filtered, distilled, it can even be tapped, but it's best if it's filtered or distilled. I have filtered water right here, so Excuse me, peasant.
who are you?
I am your king, you daft fool.
No, you're not. We don't have a king.
Oh, whatever. What do you have there?
This is for the experiment I'm doing in my video.
I don't think so. That is my kingdom's liquid gold.
Give that back!
Haha! What are you gonna do now, fool?
It's not even gold colored.
Oh, not gold colored, you say?
No, wait.
Haha, what about now?
Great, now I gotta go get some more water. Okay, well that was weird, but I got some filtered water in my jar. I had 2 cups of filtered water or distilled water. You can use tap water. It's just best to use pure water for this experiment, but you want 2 cups of your water and 1.5 ounces of your copper sulfate crystals. So that's why I have this scale right here to measure them with. But I'll measure out 1.5 ounces. You're gonna put that in the jar, stir it with a stick not made out of metal until the crystals are completely dissolved. Alright, so I've got the crystals stirred in. It took forever because my water was cold, but you should get something that looks about like that. Now you're ready to, almost ready, to dip your coin or other piece of metal into your solution. But first, you need to clean your coin. And what you want to do when you clean this coin is you want to get something like steel wool or maybe some really fine sandpaper and buff up the surface, make it look really shiny. Then run it under some water with some grease removing soap like maybe Dawn or Joy or something like that. And really get it nice and clean, and wear gloves when doing that too so that your grease from your hands does not transfer onto the coin. But I'm gonna go clean the coin and the key, and I'll get back to you when I'm done with that. Alright, I've cleaned the coin and the nickel. They're significantly shinier, a lot cleaner, and that's very important. Now you can move on to attaching them to your power adapter, and this is where I have to issue a warning. Be careful, you're still messing with electricity. It's not very much electricity, but you never know, something might go wrong. But just be careful. But what you want to do is you want to plug in your power adapter, making sure that the ends of your alligator clips are nowhere near each other. And then you want to plug in your power adapter. Oop, like so. And then you want to dip your alligator clips in the water. Now, once you've dipped your alligator clips in, whichever end ends up having a copper coat in it, because you want to dip these both in the water at the same time while it's plugged in. Be very careful though. The one that's coated in copper, that's the one that you want to put your coin, key, or anything else on. So you want to clip it on towards the edge of the coin or key or whatever, like that. And then on your other end, you want to take a piece of copper, your scrap of copper, and you can actually see on this copper pipe, there's a difference in color between here and here. That's because when I did this beforehand, it literally removes copper from the surface, transfers it onto the coin, and that's why it looks darker. But, so I'm going to attach my clip to this copper, the one that's not the alligator clip, that's silver still, and then place it in the water, just like that. And you might even attach the alligator clip to the side of the jar, kind of like that, just so your copper pipe doesn't move at all. And I found that there's another useful tip for this bamboo stick, just to keep you safe while you're doing this experiment. Shove the bamboo stick into the alligator clip like that. Not so much as to where it pries open the mouth of the clip, but enough to where you don't have to touch this at all, and you're safe. Even if these do touch, like even if the two metals touch, you'll be safe. And now I'm going to plug it in and demonstrate to you all how this works. All right, it's plugged in. So here's the whole setup right here. I'm gonna dip it in. I'm gonna leave it for 5 seconds, so it's completely silver coin right now. Dip it in for 5 seconds. Let's dip it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull it out. Now you can already see, it's a little hard to see, but there's a copper coating on the very edges of the coin. Depending on the coin, depends on how fast this will go, but I left it in for 5 seconds and it's already starting to get copper coated. I'm gonna leave it in there for about a minute, making sure to alternate sides of the coin that are facing the copper pipe, and also taking one side of the coin and turning it in the alligator clip, because where the alligator clip is pinching, it's not getting copper coated, so you want to turn the coin in the clip. But I'm going to leave it in there for about a minute, and we're going to come back when it's done. Look at the difference. Look how much oranger and brown it is. Now, one side is less coated in copper than the other. That's because one side was facing the copper pipe longer. But now I'm going to reattach it to the coin, stick it back in, plug the power adapter back in, and let's leave it for another minute. Alright, so we've finished the nickel, and might I say, it is quite more coppery than we started. Like, if you look at it, it's super orange. Almost browner and orange than a penny. Now, it's going to lose some of this whenever you clean it, because what you want to do next is take some super duper fine steel wool and maybe some soap and give it a very quick light buffing, maybe a little bit of polish, like brass polish or copper polish if you have it. But I might do that later on. But now that we have the nickel coated, it's time to move on to the key. Now, for some reason, last time I did the key, it had a hard time sticking to the copper. Hopefully that didn't happen this time. But now I'm going to attach it to the alligator clip that's coated in copper already by the key ring loop, looking like that. Dip it in the solution, then plug in your adapter. And I'm going to leave it set for probably 2 minutes on each side, making sure to flip the alligator clip around so that you have an even copper surface. And I'm going to leave it for 2 minutes so that it can get a good coat, and we're going to come back when that's done. Alright guys, so I left this for like 5 minutes, and it didn't really coat, sadly. The edges kind of did a little bit, especially towards the tip of the key, but the center didn't really coat, and I'm not sure why. Maybe one of you guys can leave me a comment, but at least we got our nickel to turn into a penny, basically. I don't think you can spend this now, but now we have a nickel penny. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day, stay swag, and I'll see you next time.